As my favorite quote says, if it is important, you will find a way. If it isn't, you will find an excuse. Welcome to Why Programming episode number 4. So, this will be talking about an other product what I've created using Why Programming. And the recording, I think I've already added as part of video 1. So, I'm using my own screen recorder app, which I've created and it's hosted in GitHub. Feel free to use it. I will share the link in the description. Okay. So, what is the app that we are using today? The app name is called INEXO. Track, Save, Thrive. So it's a balance keeper for everyday money. Okay, so what is INEXO? INEXO is built on Streamlit, Python, Pandas, Plotly, SQLite, and it is a Dockerized application. Can work on any OS. So created by Shijo, that's myself, for INEXO. Made with love for better financial tracking. Story behind INEXO. Why did I choose INEXO? It's like an income expense tracker, so that's why. So it's in for income and X for expense, woven together with a stylized O symbolizing operations. Why did I specify stylized O? Is if you look at this O, this is a constant letter I have emphasized to have it on my tool name convention. I'll come back to that. So tagline is track, save, thrive. So what is INEXO? So INEXO is part of a Foxin suite, a family intelligent finance app, where we have Navio, INEXO, and Finora built to help track, save, and thrive a financial journey. So as I said, if you would have noticed this is common across all the naming and web fault. In Navio, the previous video you would have seen this. INEXO has this, and the next is to show you about my Finora app. That will be the next coming videos that has. And if we see the Foxin tool, right, that also has. So this is something which I wanted to make a mark that represents my tool suite. What is INEXO? So INEXO allows you to securely track your income, expense, investments, debts, credits, any sort of expenses that you are having in your monthly basis or yearly basis whatsoever. Why it's secure is because this is kind of a user login based. So you log in and you can create your account. So the account will be created by admin, then admin will share you the credentials. You can log in, change your password, start entering your inputs, output. This is again was built basically to override my Excel usage. This application, I feel, thought let's create an application and share for you people so that you can also start using. I used to have this in Excel. I don't have a screenshot now because it's too much of data, so I thought there's no point of blurring and showing it. But instead of that, I'll just focus on the application and give you an idea. Um, Features, I'm not going to read it since I'm going to share this document link. Feel free to read it, but uh, I would be more showing in the presentable way of the application so that you understand more. So tech stack, as I said, again, it's built on Python framework using Streamlit. So you have this installation, how to run all these things, plus you have this documentation in this documentation folder. Okay. So I've cloned my repository locally. So let's begin. So before beginning, let's say now by default, the username and password is Shijo and admin123. So this is basically set as a initial phase. So whenever the application is loaded, you'll have Shijo and admin as your login. After you log in, you gotta create one more admin profile based on your needs, and you can delete this profile. So that is what this tutorial also will be showing a walk around of this application. I have cloned my application. So as I said, the previous video I'll be mostly using Dockerization. Uh, I still have a local run. I can use local run for people who don't have any Dockerization setup can still use this um, local run. First time you, if it is first time, you gotta do the initial setup. Just double click, it'll do all the setup. And next time onwards, you can start using INEXO start. And this also has this backup feature. If you had seen my previous video, will be I would have showed some lights on why was this created and how it works. So feel free to check my previous video on the same. Let's go to Dockerization. So before I start the Docker let me show you my Docker. I don't have any containers for now. Let's double click on Docker start. Uh, yeah, you see this Dockerization is created. Local access with local host and network access. That is because if you want to access with different devices on the same Wi-Fi, you can do it. Okay, so stop, and you see this Dockerization has been created and our application is in 8501. So this application is loading. Okay, now let's go back to documentation. You would have seen this when the application is running. The first default user is set to Shijo and admin. So in case you have forgot the documentation not seen also, I have just shown a banner. So this banner will be shown only uh, until this user Shijo exists. So let's try with something today. You see, you can't. So there's no user in the user table. So let's do first login with Shijo and admin 123. Okay. We'll come back to this main thing, but since if you're using for your purpose, let's do something. Once you log in Shijo, go to settings. Okay. Now you see existing user Shijo. Now you have to create your purpose user. Okay. Now this application is basically you can have it for your own purpose or business purpose, anything. So my focus is just to have it as the application behind the scene is to have it usage in the family level for me, but this is scalable to if you wanted to have it as a company. Let's say now you have a company A, you can create a username as company A and do all the transaction there. Company B, company C, and so on and so forth, and you can have a parent admin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an admin here. So demo admin, and this is important, you gotta check this admin. So here I can have any number of admins. Okay, my suggestion is just to have one admin, and so that you have the all the privileges that I will be sharing in the coming session further in this video. So I'll set this as is admin. I'll create user. Okay, now you should remember your admin and credentials, or make a note of it, because admin reset is not there, but for other end users I provide the reset password. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll just log out. You notice this Shijo is there because we still have Shijo user. So this is was just for first setup of a login. Since you created an admin called demo admin, I'm gonna log into that. Go straight away to settings, existing user Shijo, delete it off. Okay, now let's log out. You see, now you don't see the banner, and let's try with Shijo. The same password I've tried. See Shijo admin 123, not able to. Okay, okay. What I'm going to do is as an admin, let's create a multiple profile so that the application with at least one profile, I'll just show you how this application is going to work. So let's add one more application user called as demo user. I'm not making him as an admin. Create. I see. So you see a demo user screen. You can create multiple account. Let's say if it's family, you can have father's account, mother's account, children's account, siblings account, like that. So make use of it. For this demo purpose, I'm just creating one admin and one demo user. Okay, before logging out, what are the privileges admin has? I'll just show. Admin just has the privileges of creating a user management, okay, and a password request. So whenever a user, that is demo user, what we created, forgets a password and request for the password, the notification comes here, so admin can log in and reset the password. I'll just show you how that. And in profile section, this will be the same across everything, and every other thing is the same except the settings is where you have a lot of admin provision is here. So let me log out and log in as a demo user. I know the password for now. Let's see, logged in. I have logged in as demo user. Let's assume that I forgot the password. So I'm gonna click on reset password. And you should know the username. Let's say user X was created. You see, user not found, right? So there was no user called as demo user X. It was only demo user or admin, right? So admin will review it and get it back. Now let's log in as admin. Now, yeah, I have not created any bell icon or something because assuming this is between a family or a business, when someone creates, just say to the admin and admin can just log in and reset it. Okay, now we'll have the user and when was this request raised. Earlier we saw it as an empty, right? Now we have this. Now I can reset. So I will create a password as you know test 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 and test. Okay, now you see there's no more request. Now what demo user is going to do is demo user will try test and test. Okay, now main thing as a user, you get in to the settings, sorry, the profile, and change your password. Let's do that. Test test change. So let's log out. Just I'm logged out because it's wanted to show that password has been updated. Yes, it's incorrect password now. There's nothing showing this password set is for demo purpose. Demo user is my password. Okay, so this was the first thing as an end user you got to do is just create a admin profile and create a profile what you wanted. Now I just wanted to show some insights on this applications. So as in INEXO says, it's income and expense operations. We have a dashboard view. By default, it is from first of this current month till date. That is today's recording is on 21st December, so it's till date. We'll have income breakdown, expense breakdown, monthly saving. It's like a forecast. So this gets uh, more visual as and when we have more data into it. And you can always choose from which month to which month you want to watch. That also gets updated here. Now, portfolio is just to show your assets and liabilities, how much you have. A transaction is all the entries you do. I'll come back to that. This I will focus because this also gives you a little. Every month you'll have some recurring expenses, right? For example, rent is a recurring expenses, so that can be added. All those things. View transaction is just to see from when you add an add transaction, you just wanted to view a transaction. If you feel something you want to modify, you can do it there. Depth view, I have created two type of debt view. One is friends debt. So whenever you take some amount from your friends and you want to track it, you can have it here. And this is loan is the loan what you have taken from the bank or any corporate society XYZ, any loans. Come to categories. So analytics is you'll have a lot of tabs. It's a to just to see the expenses in a current month, previous on the quarterly basis, year to date. You can see an overview. The in that we can see how much has been going to income and expenses and so forth. Profile is again I showed you where we change credentials, and I made this application to be little uh, num- common across little top 10. I think it's maybe top 10 currency. So I have INR, yeah, dollars, euros, and so on and so forth. So that you can track your expenses based on that. Let's say one account is to track your INR. Maybe you will have one more account to track your USDs. You can track in that way. Okay, so I'll just show you something. So let's do uh, transaction now, just to say that. Okay, on December 1st I got an income from so and so, right? So how, okay, where's the, I forgot to mention this. So categories by default, I've created a base categories called income, expense, investments, credit card, debt, vehicle tracking, banking, and subscriptions. Under income you have a lot of types. It can be a bonus, interest, other, or salary. Maybe if you wanted to add like a new category, you can choose, let's say, capital gains is also considered as an income, right? So you can choose as income, or from here you can choose under which category you wanted. I'll choose as income and add category. So you see capital gains gets added. Same way, there are some few default expenses, few default investments, few default credit card like HDFC, ICICI, then other credit card. You can always choose one more credit card. You can add it like SBI credit card and choose credit cards. That category it will become credit card. So this credit card is to track that monthly credit card bill, right? Gets which gets generated. So for that purpose, and debt, you'll have car loan, personal loan, education loan, home loan, or any other loan you wanted. You can just again choose the debt and create the loan type and click on that category. Something to notice is friends is been protected. You can't do any CRUD operations here. This is because anything that is under friends gets tagged to the friends debt view. For that's a purpose, it's been protected. And related to vehicle, you can add your fuel, garage, insurance, XYZ. You have a lot of vehicles you can do. If you have multiple vehicles, bike one, bike two, or you can name it with your number plates, so on and so forth. Banking simple ones I've did like bank transfer, cash withdrawal, deposits. So you can still add more categories. Subscriptions I've not added. I just created only this category, but I've not added any content. So subscription is basically, I think now we'll have a lot of like OTT platforms or music or YouTube Premium, like Spotify, Netflix, Amazon Prime. So whatever you feel like subscription, maybe even article also, right? Maybe you're reading an article like monthly subscriptions you have, and you wanted to see how much you're spending on only on subscriptions, right? For that purpose. So for now, let's do one subscription called uh, Netflix. I'll choose it as subscription ad. Then let's say then I'll choose it as Spotify ad. Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I'll add it as this to now. Okay. Now let's go for this recurring items. So this is something which I would say like if at all you are new to this app and you want to create it, um, start creating a categories what you wanted, then start creating a recurring items. Why recurring items plays, I'll just say. Now we have any transaction, we don't have any transaction. Now if you go for dashboard, you don't see anything here, right? It's a simple plan because we're not started to enter anything. Let's say now your salary is going to be fixed at least till certain month, right? Then you can actually modify it. Let's say 1 lakh is your salary. So even I also have sometimes confusion with zeros. That's the reason I've added the wordings. The moment you tab out, it just shows the wording. For example, let's say it's only 10,000, right? Yeah. So 1 lakh is your income. Every month you're gonna get. You add an item. Okay. Uh, let's say if at all you have a interest every month you're gonna generate. Let's say 500 is something which comes as an interest for you every month. You add it. Now you have an expense. You may have EMI, rent, or something. Let's start with a simple rent. Let's say 10,000 goes for rent, or let's say 20,000 itself. 20,000 goes as rent. Okay, then you may have an insurance. Let's say this is some 2,000. Okay, now let's say um, maybe you would have had an EMI also, right? So you can add a cumulative EMI expense so that or you can add separate also. So okay, now you would have noticed this item name. I didn't show for other thing because I kept it for EMI. As and when you choose, it becomes a category and the type. So let's say EMI, right? So EMI expense. Let's say this was for car. You can add it as like what? Okay, car. I'm spending what 20,000 in a month. Okay, add. Now you have an EMI. And now you have it for what home loan if you have had it. Uh, Same. Let's keep it as 20,000. Okay. Now let's say you're doing an investment, right? Investment to AFD, RD, mutual funds. Let's keep it as mutual funds. 20K every month you're keeping as mutual fund. Add. Now you have debt you can ignore. Maybe yeah, subscriptions. So I think every month Netflix it's 199 plan. Let's assume that every month I'm subscribing for this. I will add. Okay. Now you'll see this categories, right? Now you can see how much uh, for each type is been tagged, so that if you wanted to edit, you can edit here. Let's say 1 lakh was my income. I'll make it to 1,10,000. Save changes. Okay, just to make sure 1,10,000. Okay. Now these are all actives. You can deactivate. I'll just come to deactivate later and delete also. So all these expenses related will be categorized here. Let's minimize this. So we have rent, EMI, car, EMI, home, insurances, expenses, then investments we have subscriptions. Okay. Now let's go to this dashboard view. Okay. Now this projected monthly savings. Uh, this is from this recurring. So this is not the actual. This is a projected. It says that hey, look, you may get an income from all the sources like 1,10,500, and you'll have outflows which includes your investments, expenses, XYZ as 82,199, and the projected savings monthly is 28K. So this is without any ad hoc expenses or ad hoc income you have. If you keep this tooltip, you'll get more information on this. Now, either you can go to recurring items to see in detail, or from dashboard also you can see the breakdown how it is seen. So your income is from your salary and interest, but your expenses you see we have rent, EMIs, insurance, then your investment is mutual fund, your Netflix is 199. Okay. Now I wanted to show the deactivation, right? You see this subscription Netflix, so let's deactivate that. Let's say that okay, from next month onwards, I am not even subscribing to Netflix, so there's no point of me to having it as a recurring. So I'll go here. See, there are two options: delete it gets deleted, then you got to add again. But if you feel like, okay, I may subscribe down the lane, but uh, keep it as deactivate, just choose deactivate. It gets deactivated. Now if you go to your dashboard view, now in view transaction, you see that gets cleared out, and you see that 28,500. So there's an increment. We had this 199 in outflows, right? So that got transferred here. So why is this? This is something which I was doing in Excel sheet, so that the moment the next month I am in, I will get an idea like, hey, so and so is gonna be my fixed expenses, right? This will be my fixed expenses, so that I will know like, okay, how I should plan for this next month also. So that is the reason why I have added as recurring items. But it is optional. It doesn't track anything. It's just to give you a highlight view on what is in for you and what is out for you and what will be your monthly savings. It doesn't mean that you'll be saving every month 28, because it depends on the expenses you add. But this is just basically a recurring. I hope you understood the big picture on this. Okay. Portfolio is how much is your assets and how much is your liabilities. Okay. Now let's add a transaction now. Let's do for December only. We had mentioned it as salary. We gave it as 1,10,000, right? 1,10,000 was your salary you add. Now let's go to dashboard. You see, 1,10,000 has come. There's no expense because we didn't track anything. There's no investment track. There's no credit card, anything. So for that, see, I just wanted to show now. You see, a net saving is because we are not added any transaction. That's why it's 1,10,000 in savings because there was no expense. This is just for you to see. So I just wanted to emphasize that this and this may differ because this is based on your real end-to-end transaction, what you're going to add it in the app, and this is to see your fixed type of an expense or income if you have it, so that you know what will be your uh, in-hand cash after all this. Okay. Now let's say, now I wanted to show you this so that you know like how loans also you can track. Loans, how do you track these loans? See, go to categories, edit budget category and track as loan. Okay. uh, I think we added as, car and home is something we will be having as a loan. So let's take any one just for you to show how this will be tracked. Debt, let's say you have a car loan. So what you do, click on, yeah, before that, let me show a transaction, the difference. When you choose car loan today, it'll be just like a transaction. This, it won't be considered as a loan. Okay, just to show the difference, what I'll do is let's do a personal loan of 100, add transaction, go to dashboard. You see, there's nothing tracked here. And you go for depth view, there's nothing tracked here. It's just a mere transaction, but that is not tracked. But if at all you wanted to track it, that is why you track it as a loan. So go to categories, go to debt view. We'll choose car loan this time, track as a loan, save. Go to add transaction, debt. You see, the moment it's in car loan, you see loan details come. Let's say if I choose something else, you see that gets, you don't see that form, right? So that is why I wanted to emphasize that this is a car loan. Okay, now let's say your car loan was taken somewhere in January. Okay, maybe this why I'm going a back date is because let's say you have already had an existing loan and you're trying to use this app from today and wanted to track back. Let's say I was planning to buy a second hand car, so I took a loan for 2 lakhs. 2 lakh. Now with whom did I take? I would have taken it from what? HDFC. Maybe a 10%, and my tenure was for 12. So we'll make it as 15. Make it as 10. Okay, you would be thinking, why did I change this? I don't know whether if someone noticed this. That's why I wanted to emphasize. If it is when the tenure is 15, the EMI is auto calculated. You see 14,329. So this is a basic any online EMI calculation. Same logic is what I've added. The principal amount with your interest with the tenure, your EMI is calculated. And since we took it as Jan 1st for 15 months, you are gonna end it. Approximate end date is on 2nd April. Okay, now you see EMI is 14K for 15 months tenure. Let's make it to 10. And a tab out becomes 20K. Okay, let's make it to 15 for easiness. Now what you do, you have created a car loan, you added in transaction. Okay, now go to dashboard. You see there's nothing. Now also there's nothing because we have not tracked it. We have just added, we have a loan. Now go to portfolio. This is where the things comes now. You see you had an income that is 1,10,000, but you have a loan debt of 2,13,591. Now I'll be assuming how is this 13,591? That's an interest charge what you have. And the remember the friends that what you took 100 rupees, that also. So okay, that add transaction. Let's say debt. I'm taking from a friend 1,000 rupees. I've taken. Maybe I've taken from XYZ name. Add. Okay, now go to debt view. Okay, in debt view, what will happen? You will see two things. One is your friend's debt gets activated. Earlier we saw it was not there. It says 1,000 rupees, and if anything repayment history you want, we can see it here. Okay, so it gives you a description from whom you have taken, and you can use their account if you have it. Loan. Now loan, this gives you two tabs: active and closed loans. In active, you see the cumulative. One is with car loan, so it gives you a high level picture of which bank, rate of interest, the tenure, what was the start and what was the end. Now total payable, if you keep cursor, you see 2 lakh is what the principal we took. We are paying 13 point something as interest, and every month EMI is 14 to 39. Okay, we have not paid till now, so we have to start paying it. We'll come back to this again. Now if you go to portfolio again, you see this 1,100. I think before this demo session I just added something in the DB, that's why. So usually you won't see this, but it'll become 1,000. It's not a bug, but I forgot to delete from there. So you'll see now 213 591 is loan, and this is friend's loan. Now altogether cumulative value will be considered as loan. We are not gonna segregate it showing as like what is what, because just so you wanted to say okay my loan is so much, right? I don't want to separate it. Now let's go to an ad tran dashboard, and we see we have an income. We have not tracked any expenses. Okay, now let's do an expense. Let's add first rent. Maybe for example, what is the example rent I took was 20K. Okay, expense rent 20,000. Okay, so whenever there's a transaction happening, you would have noticed now this two checkboxes is gonna come. So if you're paid via credit card, it won't be considered as a monthly expense because I said you have an option of choosing credit card also. So that's like a monthly bill generation. So where you decide you are paid the amount in as credit card bill, so the expense is considered there. And self is for your personal expense or something. Let's say that you're gone for a movie, you want to track. This is just to track like how much you're spending for yourself alone. For that reason is this. See, this tooltip also says for what the purpose is. For now, rent I'm putting as 20,000. I'm not doing any of this. I'll add as an add transaction. Go to dashboard. You see now expense. The income of this and expenses come. Now where this expense has gone, you can see in the expense breakdown. Okay, rent was my expense. Okay, now let's go and choose a transaction of credit card. Let's say from the previous month, my credit card came up approximate to 7,800 or something. Choose transaction, go to dashboard. You see credit card is 7,800 now. And you see net savings. Net savings is a calculation of your income minus your expense minus your investments minus your credit card minus your debt payments. Everything comes into this. So from your salary, you're actually paying your rent and you paid your credit card, right? Now you have a debt repayment also. Now in debt is where I've created debt view. So in add transaction to create a debt, that is you are initiating a loan, is where you'll add it here. But to track your EMI that you're paying a EMI is go for this view. Let's say I took 1,000 rupees from my friend, right? If you have 1,000 in hand, you're gonna repay 1,000, you repay 1,000. Else it's only 500. I'm gonna repay now since I have only so much. Confirm payment. So if you see this, total was 1,000 and you paid 500 and you're left out with 500. If you say repayment history, you don't have any repayment history because repayment history is only tracked after you do a full payment. Now let's go to dashboard. Okay, now you see this debt repaid. I had 500, I paid. So this debt is for entire debt. It can be a friends or loan, anything. So I paid 500. Now you see it is getting reduced because you're paying from your pocket. Now again debt review. Let's say I decided to repay the full amount. Okay. Now what happens? You see, 1,000 I've taken and 1,000 I have paid. I've given an undo action just in case. Let's say in that you paid 1,000 when due to some reasons you took back the money again, and you said maybe you can repay later. Either you can add it as a new transaction or just undo it with the same amount so that you'll get back to the same place. Now loan. Now you see the months paid. Since it is from Jan, you would have been tracking, you would have been paying it. Uh, but from this tool, we have not tracked that we have paid, right? So that's the reason months paid is zero. Just I'll add only one EMI. The reason is because if I start to add it as a dashboard, what's going to happen is you'll see the net savings and all goes to negative. The reason is because we added only for 1 month income. Once you start using this application, you can start uh, feeding the data from whenever date you want it. Then this app will have little more data to show you the right one. For now, if it is only for 1 month, then having that 1 month data will give the current data. But if you're just storing the prehistoric values just with this current month salary, uh, there'll be a little ups and downs in the numbers. Okay, now let's back to this topic loan. Let's say that you have a loan and you're paying EMI. Let's say that you paid 14,239. You want to pay 14,239 as an EMI. If you see dashboard, we had paid only 1,000. Now, including this 14 change, it will become 15k something, right? Now, how do that view come? Go to this loan. Whenever you do a, I mean, you would have did your payment or auto cut happens from your bank. Just to track it in the application, you click on pay AMI. You see, this is something called pay AMI, and this will be the amount automatically. This EMI amount is fed to the input box. If at all you have more amount or you feel that you have paid more amount, you can manually edit it, or if you paid less amount, manually edit and update it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, choose a date with whichever you had paid. Let's say I'm choosing it today. I'll confirm payment. Okay, now you see this. EMI is still same. Now it shows that I have paid. I did only one payment, right? So 14,239 is been paid. I paid only for 1 month, and I have 14 months were left. Tenure was 15 months, right? And you see the repayment progress only 6%. We are remaining 94% to do. And as and when you start uh, paying the EMI, the total loan amount gets reduced. Now see it's 199. Go to your portfolio. See it's 199. Okay. Now the debt repaid. I said no, now it's 15 something. So if you keep your cursor here, we paid 20K and debt is that is totally 35.239, right? That is considered as an expense. Okay, so debt repaid is actually shown here also under our expense because it's an expense, right? Just for us to see a view is what this debt repaid view is. Now let's do an investment now. Let's do an investment. What mutual fund? What we choose, right? Let's say 20,000. Okay. Now, when there's an investment, you see one more checkbox. It says reinvestment or rollover. The reason why this is added is, for example, in FD or RD, you would have invested it long back, right? And the mature period has come, then you're gonna reinvest it. If you're reinvesting it, the same amount, let's say now 20,000 becomes 21,000, you're gonna reinvest it. So what you do is you enable it as reinvest. So what happens, this application will understand that your investment is actually not 21,000. It is not that old 20,000 plus this 21,000, so it won't consider it as 41,000, right? Because you're just doing a reinvestment. If at all you're not doing that, if at all you're not using that money, maybe it's a new investment what you have, then it makes sense. So you have a old 20K and plus this 21K, then it's 41K in your bank and as well as in this app. I hope that makes sense. So I'll add a mutual fund of investment as 20,000. Add transaction. Now go to dashboard. Okay. Now you see the expense is still 35K because it's part of an expense, right? Which includes your debit and your rent and something, and your investment and your credit card. So you invested 20K. Now in 1,10,000, your 35,000 including a debt is reduced, plus 20,000 is reduced, plus your credit card is reduced. That is what this net saving calculation is. Everything from income it goes minus your expenses, your investment, and so forth. Now see this expense is 35 to 39. Now let's reduce 39 rupees so that it'll become, let's reduce to 39 so that it becomes 35,000. So that it's for easy calculation. Let's say now I choose expense, some other expense to 39. You see this uh, I'm not using credit card, but I'll add it as a self for some purpose. Okay. I'll just come to this. All the things I'll show it in the analytics view, like how this behaved. Okay, sorry. Before that, I have to show analytics view so that you understand. We have something called self expense here. So anything expense marked as self is where you see here, and we have rent tab since we added rent. You see the rent. So in this cumulatively, if I choose year to end date, I'll know like how much rent I paid in a year, right? Same with subscriptions. I have not added the subscription, right? We just create really as recurring items and credit card. So all this credit card, if you have a lot of data now, once you start filling, you'll see a big, good-looking picture with a proper graph. This is just only one entry, that's why you see little oddness. But as and when you have multiple credit cards and multiple payment, you'll see this in credit card. And investment and debt fee is just for me to understand. Okay, in my, you see, previous month there was nothing, but in current month, I see I have a investment. Okay, you would have noticed why this is not changed in previous month, right? Because the liability I just wanted to show like what is as of today's date, right? Because you already paid, so that is what I don't want to go back uh, on the liabilities and so hey, the amount looks huge, right? So there's no point in that. Investment, yes, it does make sense. Like previous month I invested so much, this month is so much, right? And total is like this. So total liability is like till date how much you have. Income expenses, you see this, we have chosen previous month, that's why you don't see, but we were tracking for demo purpose for December month, and we can see here we got it as expenses is rent and EMI, and income is value on salary. uh, okay, now add transaction, the 239, right? Expense other 239 self. Okay, now see this other expenses has been tracked. Okay, so the 239 has become now 35,478. Now if you go to analytics and go to self, now you see your self related. So in a year, like you would have gone for movies, you would have gone for parties, you would have spent time for some other thing for yourself, for your shopping, XYZ. You just wanted to see a cumulative of that year, where you spend and for what you spend and how much you spend. For that the purpose, I've added this tab. For some people it makes use of it, for some it doesn't. I track it for certain categories so that I know like where I spent for what. Okay, back to the dashboard now. Vehicle tracking I have to show. Now I have something 46, 722. Let's say 722 rupees I have paid for petrol. Okay, now I'll choose vehicle, bike fuel, car fuel, 722. Now here is where I wanted to, no, I'll add the 722 first so that gives you easy figure. Go to dashboard. Now the 722 has been tracked under vehicle tracking, and remaining balance what we have is 46,000. Now let's go to again add transaction. You would have choose your vehicle, maybe bike fuel. You would have choose 500 rupees. This time you're not paying out of your debit, right? Maybe or UPI something, but you will be paying it using credit card. So when you pay using credit card, this will be excluded from total expense to avoid double counting. Right, that's the reason I said now if you're paying 500 and this shows an expense, again you have a credit card bill generation as category of type credit card, right? There already this 500 is included. Now that X amount plus 500, right? I don't want the double thing. That's the reason. As when you know that you're paid through credit card, you choose it, credit card, and add transaction. Now if you go for dashboard, you see the net saving is still 46,000. It doesn't include that 500 rupees because we choose credit card. But here, if you notice, see total cash that is spent, cash plus CC, that is actually shown because I spent 1,222 in this month for my vehicle. So anything like cash as a bank spend is been actually gets used in net savings calculation. But altogether, I just wanted to see the amount I spent in my vehicle. Now, if you go to analytics and go to vehicle tracking, here you can see the entire vehicles for this month, this current month, or for year or for quarter. If I choose quarter, you can choose a year and choose a quarter. Now, if I choose this first quarter, there was no entry, right? We were in the December quarter, so that's quarter four. So all the data for that quarter four gets highlighted here. Now here when I go to vehicle tracking, now you see okay, my car fuel for this year or for this month is 722 and my bike fuel is only 500. So altogether you can see your expenses. So this is like a global view. You'll have a graph you wanted to export and make use of it. Feel free to use. Okay. Now we have didn't do a we have did an investment. Did we do an investment? Yeah, we did an investment. Remaining now 46,000. And we paid our EMIs. Now credit card bills, right? We showed how credit card bill also is added. Now in portfolio, if you see, yeah, you see 20,000 you would have in 20,000 is invested. So where is 20,000? 20,000 as part of investment and as cash that's like 16 and 69 percentage close. Yeah, 69 percentage is in your asset as cash and 20 is in your investment. And investment breakdown, you can see this 20K is in mutual fund. So let's add one more so that investments and let's say FD have added 10,000. Add. No, it is 30,000 is your investment. If you see 30,000 investment, your net saving gets reduced to 36K now. Go to portfolio. See 36,000, you have it as in hand cash now. And in that, as an asset, 30,000 rupees is in your investment category. Now in investment breakdown, you can see, okay, man, 20K is in my mutual fund, 10K is in my RD. So this portfolio net worth overview gives you a monthly This this INEXO tool is just an income and expense operation, just for you to track like how much you paid, how much is left out. Okay. For a proper asset and liability to see a net worth, I have created an application called Finora that will be in the next session, or post that, I'm not sure. Maybe in the next video or other video. So that Finora app is where actually you can actually see your net worth. Okay, this net worth is basically, it gives you a approximate figure, not the right figure, but as I said, it all depends on your tool, how you're tracking, and since when you're tracking this input and output. That's income and expense. Now let's go to analytics view. I'll choose year to date. So assuming that I had feed it from Jan till December, the data, my income was around 1,10,000 totally. My expenses were around 35K. My investments was around 30K. My credit card bill was around 8,000, and I have saved around 36,000, which is in cash. Graph, as I said, it's just like see, the salary is what I've entered in Jan, right? And the expenses was here, so that is why the graph is like this. But as and when you have the right dates and right values, you can see a proper graph. I mean, I have my application running with my real data there. I have my pretty good graph. I'm not showing that because it has a data. Okay, let's go to income and expense. Hey, okay, now this year the highest expense was on rent, then EMI, your friend's repayment, your fuel, your other expenses, and you had only salary. Maybe you would have had your salaries, you would have had your capital gains, you would have had your interest generation, or you would have had your bonus, or some sort of any income related if you get in a year. And if you start tracking it, you can see like how much percentage is from what source. Investment and debt. Yeah, you would have seen it in the portfolio. Same thing here, but this portfolio gives you a overview, and this analytics gives you per month, quarterly, year to date with the custom dates, everything. A custom date is something which I have implemented is because let's say now you have quarterly. Current month is December, previous month goes to November. Maybe you want to see June month. You don't have, go to custom, select the month June, starting to June end. So that's how it is. So June starting to June end. Okay, this is um, not default by June, but maybe for something I have opened it, that's why it was set to June. But you can here, you can customize your dates. For now, I always use year to date just to see like the total expense. Okay, I think we finished income. Let's go to investment and debt. Yeah. Now, yeah. Now in this active loan breakdown, in portfolio, I said we don't segregate the breakdowns. We show as loan. But if you come to investment and debt, you can say like outstanding. If I have one more loan, you can see on what loan it is. Credit card. Um, as and when you start adding expenses of credit card, you can see how this credit cards tracking. So that, um, yeah. So you know what? I'll just show you something else also just for that credit card. This was October 5, 5,000 October. Uh, November it was 2,000. Now dashboard and portfolio may look little different. Okay, so okay, that's because okay, I'm not in the other month. That's why. Okay, let's just go to analytics on credit card. I just wanted to show one more feature. Now see credit card in year to date, I've spent 14K. Okay, the lowest was 2,000. That's in the November month. The highest is this month. Now, you see monthly breakdown, right? So this is your HDFC credit card is spent 5K, 2K, 7K. So if you have multiple credit cards, you'll have a cleaner view. Okay, now this is total month. So this is something, it gives me the Yeah, this is where I want to come. But before that, this is just the same thing. Instead of this bar graph, I'm just using a line graph just to highlight it. Okay. Now I'll come to that. Now here, if I have any other cards, I can specifically see the graph. Yes, trend predictions also is there, but this is a linear approach. As and when you have a lot of data, you can actually predict that particular credit card, how much it's gonna, or your credit expenses, how much is gonna happen. At least it will give an approximate, yeah, not the real value, but at least you can predict it. Yeah, this is something which I wanted to add. See, from October there was 5k, and I made a November entry. So there was a reduction of 3k, right? So 5 to 2. So that is what is, hey, see, your credit card usage was reduced to 3000 in November. Now from November, that is from 2k to 7k, that's a 5000 increase. So it says, hey, there's an increase of 5k. So this is why I've added is because I wanted to see my credit card usage, like which all month is reduced. And if you see, like, hey, my previous month was more, right? Then the next month I'll decide to reduce the usage of credit cards. I mean, this, the purpose of this is for me to plan my expense on the credit card or the usage of credit card. But if not, also it still gives you a figure like, okay, so and so month it crossed the peak, it was too much, like that. Vehicle tracking, I think I've already shown this. I'll come back to this. Subscriptions, I've not added. Okay, let's do a subscription so that. Um okay, Netflix, I paid 199. I think I've already shown this. Pay credit cards. I'll just credit with credit card auto payment happens. Just do it 199. Then Spotify. Let's do something 300 I'm paying. Go to analytics, subscription. You see, so subscriptions 499 rupees I spent. That is like Spotify is 300 and 199 for Netflix, right? So in a year you will get an idea like, okay, so and so is what I spent as subscriptions. For that purpose is this. Rent I've already shared. Self expenses is shared. Comparison. So this is between, let's say you started feeding your data. Mm, Okay, so this is for November month to December month. You see, the November month I have not added any income. That's why it's showing the spike of 1,10,000. If at all there was a difference, it's a November month I have added as 1,10,000 same. So there's no difference. Let's say my November month was only 1 lakh, and from December is where my hike came, and you see the difference of 10,000 comes here. And November month you add an expense of 35k, but in December you see expenses reduced or increased, so that expense difference can see. You can customize based on month of month wise. Maybe you want to see from only between October and December, or Jan and December something. And year view. This is a cumulative between the years. Let's say last year so was your income and so was your expense, and 25 are almost about to end, and we can see this. If at all we have used this tool last year. Um, so that was basically on this application. I know it is little confusing, maybe too much to take, but what I would say is, if at all you're a root user, create your, you know, something like some type of a dummy user for yourself to play around with the application. Then start creating your own original account with credentials and start feeding in your real data so that you can start seeing. I think this is the longest video for now I've done um, in YouTube, actually speaking. But yeah, but thank you. I just wanted to say thanks. Feel free to explore. I will add this report link in our description. Feel free to, it has all the mm, documentation, self-explanatory what to do. Start using. Maybe you can fork your repos. If any bug comes, raise it, or you can DM me. You will find how to connect with me in this link. Mm, yeah, basically this is what the application is. Your income, your expense, your operations. Track, save, and thrive. Having said that, thank you once again. Until next time. Bye bye.